Howdy and happy homecoming. Game 2 for the Lynchburg Hornets here on Saturday afternoon. Field hockey got things started this morning with a 7-1 victory over Bridgewater. Now the men's soccer team takes the pitch. Joe Brennan on behalf of FloSports and LHSN. Lynchburg unbeaten through their first 12 games, but their most recent contest was their first loss of the season. Dropped to a Hampton-Sydney squad that's receiving votes in the national poll on the road, 0-2. It's one that just got away from them late. Both goals scored in a matter of a minute from the same man, Walker Stebbings, in the 79th and 80th minute for the Hampton-Sydney Tigers to give the Hornets their first loss of the season. But this is a Lynchburg team whose offense is roaring hot this season. The Lynchburg squad, one of the premier teams in all of Division III. They rank 12th in the nation for goals per game with over 3. An offense that'll just pelt you with shots, 18 on average a game. And it's a Lynchburg team that dominated that shot column a year ago when they played EMU on the road. That was one of the most wild games that we've seen from the Hornets in the last 2 years. It was a game that drew where Lynchburg just completely was all over the Royals with 29 shots compared to the Royals 0, but they drew that game 0-0. Nevertheless, the Royals looking to come into this one and snap a 23-year streak without a win over Lynchburg. Their most recent victory over the Hornets came all the way back in 2002, but this is a squad that has started to find their rhythm as of late, and an offense that's looking to get hot at the right time. The EMU offensive attack is spearheaded by Hamidallah Tohi. Tohi, the team's leader in goals and points this season, netting 5 with 3 dimes as well to put him at 5th overall in the ODAC standings for points. He's got to face a stout Lynchburg backline that has continually shut out opponents throughout the year. Meanwhile, Lynchburg's offense, we talked about explosive. There's a whole lot of guys we could highlight, but today we're going to focus on Sean DiLorenzo, the team leader in goals with 6 this season. That's tied for the 3rd most in the ODAC, behind only Riley Queen and Trey Widrick of Bridgewater. Those two both with 9. The stage is set for a fun one today. Let's walk you through the starting lineups. First for the Hornets, it'll be we're actually going to step aside momentarily for the playing of the national anthem. Starting lineups coming your way when we get back from break on FloSports. A homecoming contest for the Lynchburg Hornets as they play host to the EMU Royals. Clear skies and good vibes in Central Virginia. Everybody out having a good time. It's a parking lot party. Dell was out and about. The new mascot for Lynchburg with a rejuvenated and refreshed look. Fans all having a good time. It's all smiles in Lynchburg, Virginia. As we mentioned, field hockey got things started. A whole lot of smiles on faces after a 7-1 victory. And the men's soccer squad will look to recreate some of the magic in Game 2 and get back on track with a victory over the EMU Royals. Just 4 games remaining for the Lynchburg Hornets in their regular season. Just 3 for EMU following today's contest. These two teams have a long history together. We mentioned it just moments ago. Lynchburg had a 12-game winning streak over the EMU Royals until last year's draw. Nevertheless, the Royals have yet to overtake Lynchburg since 2002. That's longer than a lot of the students here have been alive. But it's alumni weekend, and the Royals are trying to turn the tide. EMU, as of late, in their most recent contest, dropped 1-3 to Virginia Wesleyan on the road at Virginia Beach. Since they've started conference play, this squad has gone 1-2-2. Their sole victory coming on their homecoming, which happened last week on October 11th over Randolph College. That was a 2-1 victory for Eastern Mennonite. Their 2 losses have been by 2 goals to Washington and Lee and Virginia Wesleyan. 2 of the squads really competing for that top spot in the conference standings. Lynchburg right now sits at 3rd in the conference standings after suffering a defeat to Hampton-Sydney, but they still sit over the Tigers. Bridgewater sits in first place at 4-0-1, but they'll end the season with a gauntlet playing Washington and Lee, Hampton-Sydney, and Virginia Wesleyan. Meanwhile, the Generals sitting at 2nd, which really sets the stage for what should be a thrilling matchup in Lexington in late October. That's the penultimate game of the season for the Lynchburg Hornets as they take on Washington and Lee, a team that last year made it all the way to the Final Four, the reigning ODAC champions. Nevertheless, it's a new season. A new tournament awaits us in just a matter of weeks. And right now, this Lynchburg team is trying to stay hot after they got off to one of their best starts in program history, unbeaten through a dozen games. But they played a baker's dozen now, and Hampton-Sydney handed them their first loss to knock Lynchburg down a peg. The Hornets today sporting the gray jerseys and white shorts with red letters and black numbers, or flip that, black letters, red numbers. Meanwhile, for the Royals, they rock the all blues with a white trim. Set and ready to go here from the Hill City. We appreciate you joining us today. A little Saturday matinee as we roll through the homecoming schedule. It's been a big week in the Hive. 2 Code Reds this week. All red outs for women's soccer on Tuesday, which ended in a 1-0 final against Shenandoah. And then field hockey got their Code Red the day following on Wednesday. It was a 3-0 victory for the Hornets over the Yellow Jackets. That got followed up by a Hall of Fame induction. Lynchburg men's soccer alum Josh Reed was inducted into the Hall of Fame, a Hornet grad from the class of 2010. A whole lot of support from Yeager and company as the squad able to represent the strong legacy of this Lynchburg men's soccer program. Last night, Friday night, we kept the festivities rolling with Midnight Madness to kick off the men's and women's basketball season. A little inter-squad scrimmage, some shooting games, a dunk contest, which was won by the sophomore Van Nellison. Crafty footwork. Ball laid out in front for Saul Lopez Correas and booted away. Saul Lopez Correas found his first goal in Harrisburg, Virginia, in one of those neutral site contests against Messiah. Since then, he has continued to take a bigger and bigger role with this Lynchburg front line as the freshman has worked his way into the starting lineup for the first time in his collegiate tenure. Casey with the header, bounces back, and an easy scoop up for Andrew Aldridge. Aldridge, the man that had 11 saves last year against Lynchburg and Harrisonburg. The Hornets were able to score one on him in the ODAC quarterfinal. But Aldridge, a 2024 first-team All-ODAC selection. This kid's nothing short of a stud. An excellent athlete, standing at 6'5", 205 pounds. He takes up a whole lot of that cage. In comparison, Thomas Viscuso listed at 6'1". Evan Pask with the handle over to Lopez Correas. He'll build it from behind over to his two-time ODAC Defensive Player of the Year, who kicks over to the ODAC Rookie of the Year from a season ago. Whole lot of accolades between these two sides from a season ago. It was a great reason that these two teams ended up in the ODAC playoffs against one another. Two very talented squads with solid defenses led by a veteran keeper. Sky-high ball off the crown of Asiela. Let's walk you through the starting lineups for today as we were cut off by the national anthem. It's Viscuso in goal with Torres, Casey, Velasquez, and Rouse in the back line for Lynchburg. No changes there. Keaton Napier, Matthew Viscuso hold down the middle of the field, and then a front line attack of Saul Lopez Correas, Chris Wiley, Evan Pask, Carlos Andres Romero. Two freshmen in that starting front line for the Hornets. And for EMU, we mentioned Aldridge between the pipes. Then you've got Hector Ortiz, Jonathan Guzman, Hamidola Tohi, Iverson Garcia, Brian Rodriguez Oronella, Oliver Riviera, Hudson Acasello, Derek Torres, Logan Darrell, and Elijah Bird to round out the order. The Orioles led by head coach Justin Carey in his fourth season with EMU. A Mary Washington graduate from 2019 and two new assistants with him for the first season, John Luck Harbor and Jonathan Pulido. A graduate and volunteer in this EMU squad. Velasquez on the near sideline over for Torres, who wants to get on his horse and go. He's taken down hard. It's Tohi. EMU's front line applying some pressure. Elijah Bird right next to Viscuso now. Into the middle for Velasquez. Pump fakes. Loses his footing and the ball comes free. Bird tried to put it in the top shelf, but that one sailed on him. Sky high over the top beam. And a goal kick now awaiting for Viscuso. Pask on the near sideline right in front of the Hornet bench. Over for Torres. He wants to reverse it for Napier, who dishes over for Reed Rouse at midfield. Rouse looking inside. Torres gets a foot on it. Pask with a touch off the chest. Now he wants to go inside the 18. Tries to stop on a dime. A beautiful slide tackle. Jars it loose. Tohi streaks in and kicks it out of play. A throw-in awaiting for Velasquez and the Hornets. Lynchburg has started to find more success on these set pieces as the season has moved along. This is where they look for the big bodies of Napier and Casey. They look for both of them. Off the head of Casey. Ball popped up. Outside for Velasquez with a nice touch, able to corral with ease. Now he wants to go. Long shot, and it's stopped by Aldridge. Took that one from about 22 out. And the senior keeper out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, brings it in. Long ball down the near sideline. Torres on a beat. And a quick throw in now for Velasquez. The track might look a little bare today. Well, we assure you it's still the hostile environment that Schellenberger Field accustomedly is. Probably more so today than any other day. I think this might be a tougher time to play than even a Code Red game because right behind us, and we'll see if we can maybe get a shot of what we've got as we take a look at the replay on the header from Casey that had a great chance at going through. Nevertheless, you've got a whole lot of people in attendance today. I'd say games typically average right around 300 people for a men's soccer game. Try quadrupling that and then adding 80. It's a big crowd, a whole lot of alumni. As we mentioned with all the festivities and the Hall of Fame induction on Thursday night, you really bring in a big crowd. It feels like you've got a tailgate right now, but it's an outside Schellenberger. It feels like you're about to walk into Lane Stadium. This is the kind of environment in Central Virginia that sports is all about, just bringing everybody together, seeing old friends, making new ones. Right now, it's been all smiles for Lynchburg today. Men's soccer trying to continue that trend. EMU looking to play spoiler. But it's a Lynchburg team that has not lost on their home field this season. They had that same signature a year ago in the regular season. Didn't drop a game in the regular season all year in 2024. It was the ODAC final where they finally suffered their first defeat. It was one goal from Agbe Igbe for Washington and Lee that found the back of the net to give the Generals the ODAC championship in the Hill City. Ball played back to Velasquez right at the G. Tohi driving to his right. Smothered by Velasquez. He wanted a call. The official said, you should just get back up. I don't know if I've seen an official with that kind of response. We play on. Pask looking for a through ball over to Andres Romero. The freshman couldn't get there in time. Cut out in front by Acasello, pardon me. And the Royals now will reset. Lopez Correas down the near sideline. A slide tackle kicks it out of play. It'll be last touched by Guzman. And Lynchburg takes over at midfield. We're now joined in the press box by The talk of the town for the 11 o'clock game in Lynchburg's 7-1 victory over the Bridgewater Eagles. Maddie Schuchter, welcome to the press box.
Hello, everyone. This is my first time, so let's see how this goes.
Maddie Schuchter got us rolling today. She hit a career-high 4 goals against the Bridgewater Eagles. It's got to feel like a pretty good start to the afternoon festivities, Maddie.
I mean, it's amazing. I haven't had that for a while, and I really needed that boost, and now I'm feeling great, and my mum's here, and everyone was watching from home, so I'm really glad to be able to celebrate this afternoon happily without a loss on there.
You know, before you hopped in here, we were just talking about the environment at homecoming draws. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different experience than you get with a Code Red. Can you kind of give us a compare and contrast between just a typical regular season game here, a Code Red, and a homecoming game?
I mean, homecoming, you have all the families here, and now we're all tailgating together and having so much fun, and everyone's so supportive, and I think that is just so wonderful. It's such a sunny day today, and obviously I'm not used to that because I am obviously from England, as you can tell. I mean, it was just really, really lovely to see that everyone kind of put everything out there. We went down in the first 10 minutes, and, you know, we then pulled ourselves together and to come back with that big win and let no more goals in. Code Red's obviously great. All the students are out, but playing at night is such a different experience. And I think the pressure's on feels a lot more when you're out at Code Red. But homecoming, wow, it's so nice to see everyone back and definitely have a great time today.
Now, obviously, you're the field hockey stud, but what's your experience with footy, as you like to call it?
Well, I'm not necessarily a soccer fan, but as I'd like to say football. But I know my dad. You know, I've met Frank Lampard, so I like to you know use that as my claim to fame, because all the Chelsea kids go to my dad's school up in London. But I do know a lot of the soccer guys on the team today, and I know that they have had an amazing season, and I'm so excited to see what they have in store with after their tough loss on Wednesday against Hampden Sydney. You know, it'll be great to see how they can bounce back and see what they can do today and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, obviously resiliency is going to play a big factor. You start the year with one of the best starts in program history, unbeaten through 12 games. You drop one against Hampden Sydney, but, you know, as a student athlete, what is that like? What is the mental aspect like coming back after you experience a tough loss like that on the road?
I mean, obviously for us, we played a couple ranked teams this year, and you know, we've come away with some 2 or 3 really big wins, but the ones that we've lost have been really tough to take, especially the one against Ursinus at the beginning of the season. You know, we had 20 shots on goal, and you know, we had the ball the whole time, but we couldn't seem to get one in the back cage that time, and it was really hard. It really hurt us mentally, but it made that everyone came out extra every day to get those touches in, to get the team to come together even closer, and we've changed so much about our team that, like, I think what men's soccer are doing here is that they're going to come together and they're going to put that extra work. Because obviously after lots of wins, you can get a bit high-eyed and you forget about the other things and you forget about how to lose. And sometimes it's actually, you really do need to lose for them to come back and be stronger. You know, they have WNL coming up in a few weeks, and that's going to be their really tough game just for us, as we have them next week too. So I think it will help them become stronger and, you know, come back harder because. Yeah.
And always it's so important just to remind yourself it's not time to hit the panic button. It's just one loss, and it's against a formidable opponent on the road, a squad that you could very well see in the ODAC semifinal or the final as well. You talk about playing your best and still not being able to come away with a victory, as you guys talked about, just dominating that Ursinus game. That's somewhat of a similar tale that we had last year when these teams met in the regular season, as the keeper Andrew Aldrich set a career-high 11 saves against the Hornets in Harrisonburg.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these guys will now know what it feels to lose, and when it comes down to ODAC play, anything can happen. Hampden Sydney can lose another game. You know, WNL can lose another game. They're ranked really high. They're in such a great position to get an automatic bid either way into the tournament, and that's at the end of the day, that's their biggest aim, is how far they can get in the NCAA tournament. ODACs is so fun and it's such a great time, but at the end of the day, conference play comes down to the grit and teeth, and you never know what can happen. So I think that will make them stronger, and I know there's lots of injuries on that team right now, but they're definitely going to come out and come together closer after this loss that they.
And I'm so glad you bring up the NCAA tournament, because obviously you get the automatic qualifier if you win the conference. But in terms of at-large bids, this has been an ODAC conference where the last handful of years you've typically seen just one at-large bid, and now you've got a chance for 2, 3 at-large bids with really those top eaters of Washington and Lee, Lynchburg, Valwez and Hampton-Sydney, and that just really goes to show you how much the level of play is improving in the conference. And to your point, any given day, somebody can go down and another team can pick up a win.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we're working really hard after that USINUS loss. It has put us in a difficult position for the NCAA automatic bid. But, after our big win against Shenandoah last week, where I can admit it wasn't my best game, but we had the rest of the team pull up and pulled out. And, we showed up and we made it happen. That's always a high emotional game because it's Shenandoah. And we lost to them in the ODAC final last year. And once again, these guys will face WNL, who they lost in the ODAC final last year. But we both ended up with bids. And at the end of the day, all these rankings can change. If you put grit and tear into it and you work so hard, then anything can happen. And I think that's the point. You're not here to give up. You're here to give out. And it shows how the ODAC conference is getting so much depth in strength, because if not just one team's getting a bid, 2 or 3 are. It just shows how much competition is becoming so much better now.
Maddie, you got a favorite part of homecoming weekend?
Oh, well, my mum's here, but I say the food. I'm pretty excited for the food. And obviously the other stuff, but I can't be saying that on a broadcast right now.
What do we got out there food-wise?
Oh, well, we got some hot dogs going, but the real stuff, the bratwursts, the real sausages, which I really appreciate because I don't like hot dogs because that's so American. So I quite like my real sausages, and there's some good old brownies out there too, I must say. My favorite food.
Can't beat it. That's great.
Can't beat
Dogs
it.
on the grill. That's
of
about
games.
as American as it gets for you.
I mean, I can't complain. My dad's in Chicago right now, and he's living his American dream again after being in England for 23 years. So, I mean, it's crazy to have everyone out here on the same time zone. I'm speaking to my parents. It's kind of wild. But especially it makes it all the better, all bittersweet when, you score a couple goals and on a day when your family's here. Andres
Romero with the cross, scooped up by Aldridge. Diffuses another Lynchburg offensive situation. And as you're one of the many international teams on the field hockey squad, this men's soccer team for Lynchburg also with a handful of international guys. You've got Augustine Pedreras, you've got Cristobal Massinet. I mean, we can go all the way down the list. Andres Romero. What is it like being that international athlete coming to the States and specifically Lynchburg and just that transition as a whole?
I mean, it's definitely hard. I mean, I had a rocky season in my freshman year. I came out strong, and I got hit in the head, and I had a concussion. And I came back, but I was definitely not the same. I lost a lot of confidence, and being away from home gets hard. But in the summer, I stayed with my roommate now, but one of my best friends, and who will be my best friend for the rest of my life. Working out in the States. So I've been away. I hadn't seen my mum for 6 months, and it's really nice having the independence, and you feel kind of proud to be somewhere in another country, and you feel like you're doing other people proud as well. And it's amazing to be able to get this experience because not everyone does, and I'm very lucky to say that I fly to come to school.
and you mentioned that adjustment period, and that's something that we've talked about, not just with the international students, but really everybody as a whole, especially with those first years. And that's something that is certainly amplified as a freshman. And we could take a look at, you pick. There's a pair of freshmen on this men's soccer team that are international, but guys like Bruno Real Silva, who you can see as that season works along, and you get out of non-conference, you get kind of towards that midway mark of conference play, that foundation feels like it's more built, and you start to see the production level rise. Is that something that you experienced a year ago?
So, I mean, last year I struggled in the ODAC play. I felt all the pressure on me. So now I think that I'm starting to come together as a player now. Later on, matured another year on the field. I think that now that I'm going to peak later rather than too early like last year, it's a positive. But for a freshman to come in and feel grounded in ODAC play already, that's an amazing thing. Obviously, as Europeans, we've been playing football and hockey for so long. I picked up a stick when I was 6. He's probably picked up a football when he was 3. We have so much knowledge of just seeing it and playing it for so long, even if it's just with fun and game friends. But that really does show in the games because that they just have the IQ and know how to play.
You got a footy club?
Yeah, Exeter City. But that's my local team, not my favorite. I say my dad supports Tottenham, but that's going to get loads of hate if I say that. Tottenham's not the winning team, but
in all honesty, I don't go much too far outside of the ODAC. I think my expertise only really stretches across Division 3.
Yeah, I'm a rugby girl. I like rugby. That's a good sport. I mean,
rugby? How about that?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But no, it's exciting to see what everyone has to show, and obviously I think they're going to pull out. And, as you see, you have Benji out there, All-American, and Will Casey, who was an amazing first year and, had a great season. And it just shows because they're also lovely people. Everyone on that soccer team, everyone on our team, we're all friends and we're all really close. You walk by each other at a small school and you always say hi, everyone. I think that will make homecoming all the better because we're all here to support each other on the field.
What I'm hearing is Maddie Schuchter knows ball. I mean, that's what I'm picking up on what you're putting down. You got the All-American. You got all of it.
Yeah, I mean, the runners had a good time today. I mean, the guys struggled out in Connecticut, which is a shame to see. But a lot of them hit sub 25, and I think that's a good thing. And it's a shame that they couldn't place higher as a team. I heard it was a very turny course, tight turns, and it was very rough. Like they were very feisty, is probably the right word. And now they have a 10-hour drive home, which must suck. But they are stopping in a hotel, so I think they'll be happier once they get some food in them. And I know the girls had a pretty strong pull-out today at Roanoke, so I'm excited to see what they have to do as well. Because, the runners sometimes get forgotten about, but, wow, running 60 miles a week, I could not do that.
We actually talked about it in your game. Buckles, number 20 for Bridgewater. She was the reigning champ for the 60, 100, and 200-meter dash. For indoor and outdoor.
Oh, wow. Well, that says something then. We've got some speedy people. You might see me on the track team 2026. The coaches know me. The coaches might want me there. We'll see.
I think you're more suited for just sitting there on the far post. That seemed like it was a good recipe for you today.
It worked today. And now I'm excited to see what's coming for the rest of the season.
Miscommunication between Velasquez and Torres. Tohi takes it now. Makes Torres fall to the turf. Here comes Bird down the baseline. Stops on a dime, sticks his foot in the ground, and loses possession. Velasquez all over him like bark on a tree. One touch by Pask, rolls out of play, and now Rodriguez Orinella will throw in. Towards the midway point here in half number one, a host of substitutions for the Hornets. Real Silva, Cruz, Rodriguez, and Di Lorenzo in for Lynchburg. Just one change for the EMU Royals. It's Chris Salazar taking the spot of Derek Torres. The Hornets, Lopez Correas, Pask, Viscuso, and Andres Romero head to the sideline. 21 minutes to go. One save for the Royals, each team with a shot. Royals was not on target. It was a sky-high ball that went over the top pipe. Bird and Tohi with a little two-man game inside the 18. Picked out by Torres, sends it towards midfield. Acasello dishes far side. Lynchburg trying to apply some pressure at midfield. Di Lorenzo tracking down Sadabin. Now into the middle. An opening to the far side. Reed Rouse is there. A race to the end line. Double team comes from Real Silva. Houdini able to get out of the straitjacket.
There's a sea of gray, ready to defend the EMU Royals.
Yeah, this Lynchburg backline is stout. There's no other way to look at it. It's a team that brought back all their starters from a season ago, and to add on top of that, they all played summer ball together for LFC.
Yeah, they did. They had a great time for LFC. They came away with a cup. I'm not sure what exactly they won. But, they're all here scoring goals as well. And, as you can see here, EMU, as soon as they get into that sort of back 23, there's 5 or 6 Greys, which are just ready to get that ball and attack again.
Mejia Arteaga alongside Kiernan check in for the Royals. Fisher Daniel in for the Hornets. Fisher Daniel, a guy that was in attendance last night with majority of the men's soccer team for Midnight Madness. And those guys, they know how to make some noise. I mean, that was a group that was well into it. And you had Isaac Cruz, who's on the pitch right now, right at midfield, wearing 31 in gray. Had a chance to walk out of there with an iPad if he could drill a full-court shot, half-court shot. Ultimately came up a little shy, but that's a great way to get the weekend started. An iPad, and a VR headset, a TV.
Yeah, I mean, those soccer guys know how to have some fun. And they know how to be loud.
Viscuso with a long ball towards midfield. Daniel controls. A strong touch that Aldridge will flip the field with. Rouse with a throw in for Real Silva. Cuts it back, and Lynchburg will try and build from behind. Once again, constant pressure from EMU. Lynchburg has been really successful when they haven't faced pressure, but oftentimes you can see sequences such as that one where if you can speed them up a little bit, you can force a few errors and create some turnovers deep in their own defensive territory. Tohi with one touch, plays it back to his inbounder. Guzman gets it right back. Velasquez with a physical play. Then they tried to triple. I mean, that looked like Grayson Allen in his Duke days, kicking the leg out. But it all started with a physical push from Velasquez. You can't really knock the retaliation too much. Velasquez, a bulldozer.
Hey, sometimes you've got to be feisty in order to win that ball. Not all refs will call it.
And that's exactly what we saw right there. 17 and some change to go in the opening 45. Hey, Maddie, don't feel like you need to stay here if you want to go have fun.
Well, my mum is texting me where I am. I'll tell her where I've gone. A little side quest for the day. Hey, it's been a lot of fun out here, but it is time for me to go. So I hope this game goes really well, and I'll be there watching on the side.
Thanks so much for joining us. Maddie Schuchter, everybody. 4 goals, a career high today against the Bridgewater Eagles to kick off homecoming. I mean, that's when it sounds like a real soccer broadcast, when you got that English accent on there. I'm not going to try it. I don't want to hurt anybody's eardrums too much. But how about a broadcasting debut from our girl, Maddie Schuchter? We might need to put her back on here. Maybe we'll put her on a baseball broadcast, get her a couple hot dogs, give her the real American experience. Sean DiLorenzo on the near side, just above the 18, working to the center of the box, over for Isaac Cruz. 2 touches. Still with possession, ball ping-ponged around and taken out by Arroyo. It's Rivera out of the pack. Over for Kiernan. Kiernan slicing his way through the Lynchburg midfield. Tohi puts it out in front for him, but Will Casey tracks it down, the speedster. Off the head of Casey, trying to hook up with Daniel. Napier plays it back to his keeper. Just one shot for both sides thus far. It's been a defensive affair. Here's DiLorenzo, the Hornets' leader in goals. Sean DiLorenzo cuts back to his right. Tries to dish it off, but nobody's home. Ball sails into the sideline, punched away by Lynchburg alumni Michael Relaford, one of the long-standing champions for the Hornets in goal. Now the goalkeeper's coach for Viscuso and company. Group substitution for the Royals, Portillo, Del Cid, and Cesar. Or Caesar, rather. Kiernan has his pass taken away by Reed Rouse. Velasquez pushes it up for Torres, who goes to Rodriguez. Long ball down the far sideline. Real Silva tracking it down, keeps it in play, loses possession, knocked away by Del Cid, but a throw-in awaiting for the Hornets deep in Royal territory. It'll be Casey. Or no, it'll be Rouse, pardon me. Low throw. Kicked out by Riviera. Torres able to retrieve it. Trying to center it right back into the box, off the head of Casey, and once again deposited towards midfield. Finds its way to DiLorenzo. In the corner for Daniel. Feels the contact and loses possession. They're letting the kids play today. Throw in for Caesar, taken by Rodriguez. Pump fakes to the middle, goes to the sideline, and Casey, or Torres rather, gives it back up to Velasquez. Now it's Casey on the Lynchburg script. Wants to shoot one downfield for DiLorenzo. Has a chance. Scooped up by Aldridge. That was a little bit of a David versus Goliath collision with Cruz and Caesar. Jan Caesar listed at 6 feet, 215 pounds. I don't have the exact measurements for Isaac Cruz, but if I'm a betting man, it's about 5'7", $165. But he just pulled out the slingshot and took Caesar down. That earns a whistle. It's the third Lynchburg foul today, a total of 9 between the two sides. Here's a shot. Tipped away. Looks like Velasquez got a foot on it. But a corner kick awaits for the Royals. Take another look at that sequence. He lost Torres, and yep, it's off the back of Velasquez. So now a corner kick for Portillo, pardon me. I'm thinking Portillo's after Matty was talking about Chicago. I've got Italian beef on the brain. Off the head of Napier. Cruz gets in the mix and takes it away. Cruz out and running with Daniel. 2-on-3 break. He wants to feed Fish. Fish stumbled, lost his footing, but got back out in front. Had nothing but daylight. And a whistle blows it dead. They're going to say offensive pass interference. You would have thought they would have let that one slide as how this game has been officiated through the first 35 minutes, but not that time around, as that could have had major implications on the trajectory of this contest if Daniels out alone one-on-one with Aldridge. Velasquez towards the corner, looking for a cross. Ricochets off a Royal and goes right into the breadbasket for Viscuso. He'll now slowly roll it over to the far side of the field for Will Casey. Wants to go to the middle, through the middle. Velasquez uncontested. Torres for Fish. DiLorenzo over for Torres. He's got daylight. Torres uncorks a long shot from about 27 out. On one hop, Aldridge corrals it cleanly. Beautiful ball right under the foot of Kierman. Napier with a steal. Right back over to Kiernan. Guarded tightly by Velasquez and runs out of real estate. Goal kick awarded to the Hornets with 8 minutes to go. Now a group of substitutions as Colby Wilson takes the spot of Daniel Fisher, or Fisher Daniel, a guy with 2 first names. It always trips me up every now and then. Keaton Napier heads to the sideline. Cristobal Massanet will take his spot, and Vasquez as well. The freshman defender goes to the far side of the field in place of Rouse. Or no, rather they'll flip Rouse. Nearsided Torres will sub off. Just 2 shots for each side through 37 and a half minutes. Di Lorenzo operating at midfield, goes back for Vasquez. He's got help to the far side and sails over the head of Velasquez. Another Lynchburg turnover. And it seems like we're going to get a sideline warning for the Lynchburg Hornets. Didn't seem like the coaching staff was too concerned with it. They didn't say anything to the far side of the bench. I think they got the memo. Isaac Cruz possesses, back over for Casey. Wilson for Cruz. Here come the Hornets. Di Lorenzo doing some dancing. Gets to his left, gets tripped up. Ball finds its way back to Massanet. Able to temporarily halt the Hornets. A whole lot of congestion right above the 18. Played back out for Casey and Velasquez. The 2 backs working in tandem. Di Lorenzo thought he had help behind his head. A nice ricochet off the back of Santisteban, pardon me. Reed Rouse to the inside. Now Massanet into the box and booted away once again. EMU refusing to give Lynchburg a shot inside the 18. Both of the Hornets' shots have come from long range. Nevertheless, they've both been on target. Rouse's soft touch for Di Lorenzo, trying to keep it in play, but kicked out of bounds by Logan Darrow. And Colby Wilson earns a corner kick. Now you'll see Rodriguez trot down to the near corner. Rodriguez looking far post. Casey with the header. Goes right back down into the deck. Once again, Lynchburg can't find anything on that set piece. Just under 4.5 to go in the opening 45. If you like defensive soccer, you're in the right place. Velasquez, center of the box, batted around. Rodriguez on one hop, sails it wide right. Looked like Caesar lost it in the sun. Off the toes of Aldridge. Results in Lynchburg possession. Rodriguez can't handle it cleanly. Here come the Royals. Working inside, Casey gets it out of trouble. Caesar winds up, fires, just wide right. The bench thought they had it. Everybody was going crazy. That's one that makes you hold your breath. Great defense from Lynchburg, but it was Caesar just right place at the right time. That's about as good of a look as you're going to find from outside the box. Long ball for Colby Wilson. Colby trying to chip it in. Colby Wilson! The Hornets get on the board first. The sophomore forward out of Gloucester, Virginia. What a pretty sequence. You couldn't ask for a better ball right in front of the foot. One hop, one swing of the leg, and one goal for Lynchburg. That's the second goal this season for Colby Wilson. Notched his first on the road at St. Mary's. That was back on September 9th. September 7th, rather, pardon me. Over a month later, goal number 2 for the sophomore. And how about the dish out in front? Just the 4th shot of the day for Lynchburg. 3 have been on target. And the most recent one is the difference maker. After getting shut out last game at Hampton-Sydney, you know that one's got to feel good for Yeager and company. Trying to get the wheels going in the right direction. This is one of those get-right games where you drop to a really strong opponent, you're just trying to get back on track. And scoring one in the first half, no matter when it comes, is going to raise the confidence bar as this Lynchburg team hits this sideline. Now you just like to get out of it 1-0 and hold off the Royals for the next 90 seconds. With that being said, we've seen Lynchburg score goals by flurries this year. Right now, Colby Wilson with a chance to try and add to that total, but can't bring it in right there. It'll be a quick toss with just under a minute 20. Rouse over for Wilson, posting up his defender. Lost his footing and ball got jarred free. Now with 1 minute remaining. Real Silva down the far sideline. Bruno took a big swing right off a Royal. Colby Wilson once again. Played back out for Vasquez. High arcing pass. Tracked down by Rouse, who goes tumbling down, hit the deck hard. He wanted a whistle. He's not going to get it. Hinkle on the sideline, raising his arms and asking, where's the foul? And that will bring the first half to a close as this clock goes under 10 seconds. Colby Wilson with the difference maker in the opening 45 with his second goal this season. Lynchburg over EMU 1-0 as we head to the locker rooms. Stick with us on LHSN and FloSports. Second 45 coming your way. And we welcome you back in. It's Lynchburg playing host to the Eastern Mennonite Royals in Game 2 of the homecoming slate. Women's field hockey got us started with a 7-1 victory over the Bridgewater Eagles. And the Hornets men's soccer team picking up right where they left off with a 1-0 score at the intermission. It was Colby Wilson with a chip shot over the head of Aldridge to slot it through and give Lynchburg the advantage. Other than that one offensive sequence, it has been a defensive affair. Here's another look at the goal. The assist from Will Casey popped up and netted through. That puts us at where we sit now in today's contest. Second half underway and ready to go. Let's take a look at the stats through the break. Lynchburg with the 1-goal advantage, out shooting the Royals 4-3, just a combined 7 shots between the two parties, a corner for each as well, and 2 saves to Aldridge's name. With that, ready to resume action here in half number 2. Potentially awaiting a guest coming into the press box, one of the Lynchburg men's soccer alums. We'll wait to see if he can step away from the tailgate festivities and join us here in the booth. Nevertheless, we digress. Lynchburg earns a corner kick right out of the gate, their second of the day. Pass, far post, looking for Napier right over the head. Let's see how the game plans adjust here in half number 2. You had a Royal squad that was really sitting on their heels from the midfield and back, just trying to create a whole lot of congestion right in between what you could call the end of the L to the top of the 18. Meanwhile, that front line of those tandem of forwards applied a whole lot of pressure on Lynchburg's back line, and it caused about 6 or 7 turnovers for the Hornets. Now it's Pask looking down low. The cross looking for Andres Romero is booted away out of trouble. After just one corner kick in the opening half, Lynchburg with a pair under 2 minutes into the second half. That'll be Pask once again from the far side of the field. This time a low ball that's around. I think that one might have gone through, but they didn't count it. It seemed like it went off the foot of Iverson Garcia when he was inside the box. Tough to tell from my point of view all the way up here in the press box, but we'll take another look at it on the replay. As you can see, 11 in blue is inside the pipes right now. That's where the ball's going to be deposited. Oh, I think that one's out. Off the foot and the post. A close call. But Iverson Garcia with a nice defensive save to keep it out of the net. And that one doesn't go off the boot. That one's going through. Reed Rouse tangled up on the near sideline. Earns possession. Kicked away by Torres. Wiley with a physical altercation with Acasello. Aldridge ready to boot it away. Whistle blows is dead. Looks like we're going to have a yellow card given out. He's walking straight for the coaching staff. Then puts it back in his pocket. He says to Hinkle, go away, don't talk, and goes directly for Yeager. Just completely disregarded the assistant coach, Josh Hinkle. Now EMU's coach, Justin Carey, calling for a yellow card and asking for the official to come his way. He's going to be ignored. Hinkle has been pretty heavily in the ear of the officiating crew today. Napier with possession. Laying it out in front. Oh, just over the top bar. Lopez Correas trying to put Lynchburg out in front by 2. The Hornets looking for those chip shots. Throw in for Ortiz, looking downfield. Casey with a slice that went right back up in the air. Now Viscuso with the handle. Andres Romero gets in the mix. Both sides pointing in opposite directions. Officials favor with EMU. Five minutes into the second half. EMU trying to set up a play right here. Yeager directing traffic from the track. Elevated on the bench. The kick from Guzman. Once again, both sides pointing in opposite directions. This time it goes in favor of the Hornets. Throw in for Torres. Down to Wiley. Pass with a nice touch, and he's got a beat. Lost his footing, but keeps possession. Kicked over for Viscuso. He gets tripped up, and this time it's an easy call for the officiating crew. A set piece just outside the 18. Wiley and Pask lined up on the outside of the ball. Wiley into the arms of Aldridge. His goalkeeping unit has split some time this year. It's been Aldridge all the way thus far. You got to feel like his coaching staff feels pretty good about Aldridge against this Lynchburg group. A team that he set a career high in saves against a season ago. Pask operating in a narrow window. A beautiful ball over for Andres Romero. Cuts back to his left and sends it far left. But a round of applause comes from the sideline after a good attempt from the freshman forward. Rouse battling for positioning. Lynchburg will reverse the field over for Torres. Pushed up over to Wiley, or Pask rather. Viscuso with a whole lot of daylight. Lays it down for Andres Romero. Carlos with a cross. And Lynchburg with their second goal today. So Lopez Correas in his first career start notches a goal, and Lynchburg out in front by a pair. Andres Romero got the positioning and a brilliant cross. Nothing Aldridge could do other than admire it. The Hornets in firm control in the 52nd minute. As chants of "Let's go Berg" rain down from the stands. Oh, we talked about this being a get-right game, and so far it's been that and some. Lynchburg's defense posting a shutout. Just about 55 minutes through. 2 goals after being shut out in their most recent contest. Velasquez up for Lopez Correas, looking to attack once again, out wide. Pask uncorks a shot, saved by Aldridge. Play will stop momentarily as Wiley was a little shaken up. Take another look at that sequence. Wiley right in the far right of your screen. Had to be after the play. Ball runs out of bounds. Lynchburg with the throw in on the Royals' half of the field. Lopez Correas over for Wilson. Here comes the cross. Aldridge snares it with ease. Now the veteran directing traffic as he gets ready to send this one deep. Long ball downfield. Controlled by Tohi. And another EMU turnover. Rouse with plenty of room to operate, trying to send one deep. Wilson with a nice touch, now in a foot race. Won by Acasella. Acasello's been everywhere today for EMU. So he has it poked away. Guzman. Now back for Darrow. And they'll kick it all the way back to the keeper in Aldridge. Near sideline and room to operate. Lynchburg's defense doing a great job rotating and keeping all the roads closed. Andres Romero keeps it in play, or rather was called out. Looked like for a moment the freshman forward was going to be able to keep that long bomb from Velasquez alive. Aldridge deposits it downfield. Bird tangled up with Velasquez. He hit the deck hard. He's still down. And the officials will stop play. Escuso goes to check on him and gets him back up to his feet. That's the kind of sportsmanship you love to see. Wilson with a nice touch to play it forward. Andres Romero operating through a narrow window. Wilson looking for Rouse in the corner, but a little too much juice on it. Sends it out of play, and a goal kick now for Aldridge. Handful of substitution for both parties. Viscuso, far side for Velasquez. Lynchburg's offense now patiently operating. No sense of urgency, up by 2. Long one downfield for Rouse, inside the 18. Kicked out the back line, and now another corner kick awaiting for the Hornets. You do have a Royal down hard on that slide tackle. Might have gotten a little twisted up. And they're going to bring the training staff on. We're going to step aside for a quick moment. We'll be right back on LHSN and FloSports. And we welcome you back in to Schellenberger Field. Far post header from Sean DiLorenzo runs high. Lynchburg up by 2. A fun atmosphere here in the Hill City. Homecoming weekend. A whole lot of festivities going on. You can see the parking lot party going on just behind the press box here today. Aldridge fakes out Cruz, kicks it right back. Reed Rouse, entry feed over for Cruz. Rouse with possession. Real Silva sends it back. Torres looking inside. DiLorenzo can't get there in time. Colby Wilson had the first one for today. Scored in the final minutes of the opening half. Saul Lopez Correas added to the advantage just minutes into half number 2. That puts us at our current 2-0 score. Lynchburg has handily controlled the series over the Royals in the last 2 decades. EMU's last victory over Lynchburg came all the way back in 2002. Out of bounds, and a throw in now for Hector Ortiz, a first-year defender out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Viscuso. Nice ball out wide for Rouse. Looking to deposit right back into the middle, over for Wilson. Turns to his right. The entry kick. And sent out of the box. Casey deep in his own end, dishes over for Velasquez. He'll bring it towards midfield. Velasquez, a through ball looking for Viscuso, kicked out wide for Real Silva. Now up for Wilson. Colby Wilson with a cross. And scooped up by Aldridge. We're now joined in the press box by a Lynchburg legend, a future Hall of Famer for the Lynchburg Hornets, none other than Luke Mega. Luke, thank you for joining us, man.
It's a pleasure to be here. Was not expecting this when I pulled up to the game earlier, but hey, getting out of my comfort zone. It's a nice view you got up here.
Not too shabby. Well, you had one heck of a view down there for 5 years, from 2019 to 2023. One of the greatest tenures in Lynchburg men's soccer history. Third all-time for goals scored, third all-time for career points as well, a 3-time All-American. I could continue to rattle off the accolades, but we might be here past the end of the game.
Yeah, we focus on the guys that are on the field nowadays. It's not about me anymore, but I appreciate you acknowledging my accomplishments.
Well, this is a team that the last couple of years has had to find different ways to score. Obviously, after your departure, it became a new rotation of guys with Monzi Shalita, Pat Figueroa, Zach Whelan. The list goes on. This year, it's been a whole new group of fresh faces. And when we talked to Hinkle and Yeager at the beginning of the season, they said, sometimes it's not always about finding the guy that'll score us 10 goals, but 10 guys that can go out there and score us one goal. Have you kept a pretty close pulse on what this team has been able to do this year?
Yeah, I'm still around here, so I've been able to come to a good amount of the home games. And I feel like they have some of the best depth they've had in a while, which I feel like in my time when we went into the postseason or into the NCAA tournament, we were a little bit easier to stop because teams knew that if they could stop me or they could stop Monzi, then they might have a good chance of keeping us out of the goal. But it's definitely different, but I don't know. A goal is a goal. That's what I always like to say. It doesn't matter how you score it or if it's pretty or not and who's scoring them. But it is tough when you don't have that go-to goal scorer. They're still sort of looking for it.
And this is a year where they have a really great mix of veteran leadership and young talent. And when you talk about that depth, it's traditionally the same six when you look at that midfield and the back line for Lynchburg. Where we've seen more movement in the starting lineup has been in that front line. Like we saw today with Real Silva getting his first career start and pairing that with a goal today. But we've seen guys like Evan Pask, who I know was heavily involved with your time here, and also Carlos Andres Romero, one of those guys that's really been put on notice as the freshman.
Ball.
That's a great through ball for
Sean.
Di Lorenzo getting inside, stops on a dime, cuts to his right,
Golazo.
and slots it through. Di Lorenzo with his 7th goal this season.
Carl Hare is loving that. Carl Hare is loving that.
Carl Hare?
Yes, that's another Lynchburg legend. He was a walk-on, but there may have been some underground betting going on this game, and for fun, and he's loving that because he had something on Sean.
He took anytime goal scorer Di Lorenzo.
Yeah, he knew it was coming, so
not a bad bet to take when he's the team leader in goals this season.
Is he really? He's team leader now?
Yeah. He has really caught fire ever since that region game. He had a 3-game stint with consecutive goals, one of which was a multi-goal performance. I mean, that's one of them as well. I mean, you've got so many guys on this team, and I bring up Pask and Andres Romero in particular because when I talked to the coaching staff at the beginning of the year about what this team brings to the table, your name got brought up twice.
Oh, really?
Once with Pask as a guy that's a real vocal leader for this front line with a lot of experience. They actually told me back in the day when he was sidelined with injury, he'd be out on the sideline directing traffic for you and telling you where to go. And they said it's very rare that a guy would go out there and tell Luke what to do, but most of the time Evan was right.
Yeah, I listened to him. He knows ball. He really does.
Meanwhile, Andres Romero, he was someone that was described as someone that has more raw talent and just a dynamic ability to go out there and score in one-on-one situations that they've seen in a first year since your helm in 2019.
Is that Carlos?
Carlos, yeah.
I played with him in the summer with Lynchburg FC, and he's got a lot of athleticism. He's got eye for goal. He's got a lot to offer. That's the thing this year. They've got a handful of guys that they're shuffling through in the front line, which is a good thing, but it's also tough for the coaches.
Seems like a good problem to have for any coaching staff.
Yeah. Got to keep everyone happy, though. That's the challenge.
Well, so far this season, everybody's been eating. This is one of the top offenses in all of Division III soccer, averaging just a tick over 3 goals a contest, sitting right on that average right now. We've still got 21 minutes and some change left to go.
They got to be up there defensively too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned LFC. That was a big storyline coming into this season where you bring everybody back that started for you a year ago, and then you even add on to that experience with really that whole group playing together in the summer.
Yeah.
What is LFC, or has that done for you as a player, and what did it do for you as a player during your time here?
Well, I never got to play as a player here because they have a rule where, like, if one of our coaches is involved with the staff, and Hinkle was always involved in some way, so I never got to play, and then got to play this summer, and that was just a lot of fun. No, it wasn't about anything but fun, which is refreshing, you know.
What really impressed you out of the guys that you got the chance to play with this summer?
What do you mean?
I mean, we've seen big leaps from guys like Casey that had a really strong freshman campaign as the ODAC Rookie of the Year. And this year, he started to evolve even more as an offensive threat working downfield. Stuff like that, just how you've seen the guys grow. And obviously, you got the chance to play with Benji all the way through.
Yeah, I still gave him the runaround in practice a little bit, which was fun. But I think Tommy, working with our coach, Jake Berry, who is a great goalkeeper, in the summer, getting to work with him, he's improved a lot. And I know he has aspirations to keep playing after college. So I could see him doing that if he keeps up with it. Same with Benji. It's just great for them to be able to build that chemistry, and stay around in Lynchburg. It's all about chemistry at the end of the day. So getting to see them build that chemistry over the summer was good.
Couple of substitutions for the Hornets. Massonet checks in alongside Vasquez for that Lynchburg back line.
You've got the announcer voice down to a science, man. I gotta work on my enunciation.
I think you got it. I think you're cutting yourself a little short.
Okay. Sometimes I do that. Reed scored an absolute screamer in the playoffs in the national tournament for Lynchburg FC. So I wish that I could see him further up the field sometimes. But he's so good on both sides of the ball that, they want him in the back. You could also use him closer to goal, too.
Obviously the wrong football, but with these guys, the way they can play on both the offense and defensive end, it feels like you got 4 Travis Hunters down there.
Yeah, I know. It's a good problem to have.
Obviously a big weekend for men's soccer overall, not only just the contest today. Josh Reed, a Lynchburg alumni, inducted into the Hall of Fame. What is the group of really the predecessor to the time that you were here? What did that build foundation-wise for you when you played your tenure?
I mean, you're always trying to outdo the guys that came before you, I guess, use it as motivation. But I mean, I was not too aware of Lynchburg soccer before I ended up here, and it really felt like sort of God's plan for me to end up here, because I took a gap year after high school, and then it kind of burnt out in high school from soccer and was like just not enjoying it anymore. Took a break and was playing adult league, and then in the summer I started playing summer league, like U23, and my coach at the time played at Randolph-Macon, had a bunch of ODAC connections, and Lynchburg was like the last place that I toured and everything, but as soon as I got here, it was just like, this is definitely the place for me. But it was not something that I really anticipated, honestly. So, but I was actually born in Lynchburg. So
how about that?
Full circle, yeah. Full circle moment.
And during your tenure, felt like a 5-year battle, just Washington and Lee, Lynchburg, year in and year out. Mm-hmm. This year, it feels like there's a whole lot more parity in the conference this season. You've got Virginia Wesleyan and Hampton-Sydney really in that mix towards the top tier. It's been a big storyline throughout the season. What have you seen in terms of growth of the conference since you started playing?
Yeah, I mean, every year that Lynchburg or Washington and Lee gets another ring, those other teams get that much more hungry to come and get a ring that seems to never be possible for them. But I mean, I think it's one of the best conferences in D3 soccer, and it's always there's never really an easy game. Any team could show up and give you a good game on any given day. So it's good competition. But it's always those handful of teams: Hampton-Sydney, Roanoke, Wawes, Washington, Lee, Lynchburg. But I got faith in our boys.
DiLorenzo off the left foot, ricochets out past the end line. It'll be another corner kick awaiting for Rodriguez and the Hornets as Chris Bovo enters the contest in place of DiLorenzo.
Let's go, Bov.
Big Bovo guy?
Big Bovo guy. We trained a little bit after I graduated because he lived right down the street from me in Richmond. And we play similar. We both played a lot of futsal growing up. So I like a flair player, you know, and so he brings the flair.
He certainly got a little bit of swagger to him.
The Italian stallion.
Header towards the far post. Casey with a big swing that goes all the way back out towards Rodriguez. He'll enter it inside the box once again. Finds its way to Casey. Sails it over the top beam.
It's easy to get excited right there. Can't help but just swing as hard as you can. Luckily, he doesn't have to go chase that one down the hill.
So you grew up playing in Richmond?
Yeah, I was born in Virginia Baptist Hospital. My family moved when I was like 4, so grew up in Richmond and went through strikers, kickers, Richmond United, played FC Richmond in the summer when I was in college. So I played with all the Richmond clubs, been through the gauntlet.
Very nice.
Yeah.
There's a good little soccer pipeline coming from Richmond.
It is.
I'm a guy out of the 804 as well, so I've got a good feel of it. I played football, not soccer, but
okay.
I'm learning the ins and outs.
What position you play?
I played corner maybe about 40 pounds ago.
Where'd you go to high school?
St. Christopher's.
Oh, okay. I had some friends that went there. It's a nice school.
Good soccer program.
Mm-hmm.
Bovo, a deep run guy?
Yeah, I'm Godwin High School. I never played high school soccer, though, because there's a rule, like, if you played academy, you weren't allowed to play high school. So, unfortunately, I never got to go tear it up in high school soccer like Bovo did.
Well,
we got a Dane appearance. Let's go, Dane. This is what we like to see.
The athletic trainer
the
Dane
real
coming
MVP. Shout out, Dane.
How's the homecoming festivities been for you so far this weekend?
It's been fun. It's always fun to see the lads catch up. It's a little overwhelming sometimes, you know, but it's always a good time. What about you?
Busy.
Busy?
Busy to say the least.
You got another game later?
I do. We have women's soccer right after this, taking on the Generals of Washington and Lee.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
A full slate on deck. We started things off this morning with a 7-1 victory against Bridgewater in field hockey.
Wow.
The wife of goalkeeping coach Michael Relaford, Jenny Relaford's squad, picked up another ODAC victory, unblemished on their home field. Both men's soccer and field hockey yet to drop on the home turf.
Shelley Beach, got to protect that home turf.
I mean, how would you describe the atmosphere at playing at Schellenberger compared to other schools in the ODAC?
I mean, I've always said I think Schellenberger is like probably I haven't been to all the stadiums around D3, but out of all the schools that I went to, this was the best environment and atmosphere to play in, especially with that new scoreboard. I mean, it's just very, very professional compared to a lot of schools. It's not nearly as nice.
And right now, you certainly got the bodies to bring a whole lot of support. It feels like you got a tailgate field outside of Lane Stadium, about 2 hours down the road.
Where is that? What is that?
Virginia Tech.
Oh, I'm not a big football guy, honestly. I don't know much about football. Don't ask me about it.
Hey, man, as long as you're focused on the footy, that's what's really important.
I had who's the guy on the Bengals, the wide receiver?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I have him on my fantasy team, and I haven't looked at I have a bad habit of getting into a fantasy league and getting into the draft and then never looking at my team. And so I had Jamar Chase in my lineup, but I also had the other guy that's injured, the quarterback.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I had Joe Burrow in my starting lineup at the same time. But hey, Jamar Chase was balling the other night in the Unk Bowl. Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco.
Right now it feels like the Unk Bowl up here in the press box. Couple of old heads on the mic.
Yep. We're some Unks now. You're definitely Unk status. I'm like junior Unk status.
You're younger than I am. You know
yeah,
that, right?
Yeah. I'm only 2 years out of this place. Did you go to Lynchburg?
I went to the University of Indiana.
Oh,
Graduated in 2024.
it's a big school. I would not have been able to go to a big school like that.
Great soccer program there.
Yeah, they do have a very good soccer program.
Hoosiers were ranked first in the national poll at one point this year.
Yeah, they're always up there.
Throw in deep in Lynchburg territory. Massonet sends it towards midfield. Andres Romero has it stripped away. Now Pedredes getting in the mix.
We got Augustine appearance.
He seems like a team favorite, one of those locker room guys.
Yeah, he's another flair player. He actually has taken the same number path I did. He had 26, which was my freshman year number, and now he's got 7. So.
And you had 7 for the remainder.
Yeah, 7 as a sophomore and on. CR7. That was my favorite player growing up. Not so much anymore, but
I feel like you might have embodied him a little bit with the prolific scoring that you were able to put on display.
Yeah, I tried to channel my inner CR7 on the field.
Do you have a favorite memory during your tenure?
It's got to be ball on the spot over there. ODAC championship versus our hometown rival. And then a lot of people said I ran to the wrong side after I scored, but all the Randolph fans were over here, and I wanted to rub it in their face that they just lost. So I ran to this side, and everybody got to run across the field. So that's definitely the top moment for me. But I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous stepping up to that penalty.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
PKs with a championship on the line.
You just got to trust the work you put in, you know. Don't overthink it.
And Lynchburg this year had their best start since your senior season back in 2022, going through their first 12 games unbeaten. Mm-hmm. But something I talked to Yeager about earlier this week was, he's like, that's all great, but it doesn't really matter because we had 2018 where we had to start like this, 2022 as well, and in both of those scenarios didn't make it to the ODAC championship.
Yeah. It's almost like it's just added pressure, and it's kind of a relief when that first loss, you take that first loss, and then you're like, all right, well, we don't have to worry about that anymore because it really doesn't matter. It looks nice, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
So if you're on this squad and you just suffer that 2-0 defeat on the road against a Hampton-Sydney team that's earning recognition in the national poll, I mean, what's the response off the bus into the preparation to today's game?
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect Hampton-Sydney. They're a good team. They're having a great season, and they're always a tough away game to go. And whenever they're having a good season, they get a good amount of fans. And so you got to just try to take the positive and take it on the chin. It's better to lose that game now than feel that bitter taste and move on than it is to take that loss later in the season, and like really lose confidence, because that's what happened when my senior year. We were undefeated, and then right at the end of the season we lost to Guilford. Played terrible game. We lost to a team that was not better than us at all, and confidence went down, straight down, and then we lost in the first round of ODAC. So at least they have plenty of time to rebound and get that confidence back.
This Gustos Day will be done. The 6th year Matt Kopsidis checks into the contest between the pipes.
Top class from number 1. Yeah, I sent Keaton a little Rocky clip. I told him to play it for the boys before training the other day after that Hampton-Sydney loss. The one where he's like, it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So hopefully he played that for the boys and they took it to heart and they can keep moving forward, which they're doing well today. So
Did you have any former players that were kind of in your corner like you are to Napier and company?
Yeah, there's always guys that are around. Nick Foley was always around. I don't know. I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head, but there's always it's such a tight-knit family that all the alum are always keeping an eye on things and sending love. So Keaton's trying to be like me now, shaving his head though.
Is that your signature?
Yeah, I didn't really have a choice, unfortunately. So
once again, Ung status up here in the press box. I might need to follow suit, and if I do so, maybe I can go down there and notch a couple of goals.
Yeah, exactly. It keeps you light, you know.
I need all the help I can
Makes you a little faster.
With that, Luke, we'll let you head back out to the tailgate fields. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, it's been fun, and go Berg.
Ladies and gentlemen, the three-time All-American, future Hall of Famer, Luke Mega. Just under 10 minutes to go. Lynchburg leading by a triple. Aldridge at the top of the 18. That's such a treat to have Luke join us. He truly is one of the guys that embodies what this Lynchburg men's soccer program is about. Obviously brought them a whole lot of success as a three-time All-American, the first in program history to ever do so. And nonchalant as well. Lynchburg has really dominated possession here in the second half. That shot disparity has grown to 10, 4-14. 8 shots have been on goal. Bovo with a nice tackle, and he's out and running. The Stallion galloping downfield. Tries to cut it back. It's tangled up. Finds it once again. Bovo! Chris Bovo with a brilliant ball. And the Hornets lead by 4. Chris Bovo sticking with the play. And I think Luke Mega's anytime goal just scored. When it rains, it pours, and the floodgates have opened here in the second half. Lopez Correas, Di Lorenzo, and now Chris Bovo all with a goal in the second half. 8:20 left to be played. And the Hornets will start to clear that bench a little bit more. Bovo once again. Long ball looking for Shaver. As we take a look on what's to come, as we can start to look ahead a little bit as this one's gotten out of hand. Massonet trying to add to that total as it knocked away. Lynchburg's soccer team as Roanoke on deck on the road and W&L. Both those games next week will have major implications to the conference standings. And then the regular season wraps up at home against Shenandoah on October 29th. The Hornets looking to go 6-0 on their home field after a win today. A chance to make that 7-0 against Shenandoah, but as Luke mentioned, that doesn't mean anything. It's all about postseason play, especially with the historic tradition that this Lynchburg Team has experienced. Audie Shaver trying to get one through. Turns to his right. Has it deflected away. Lopez Correas possesses to the inside once again. Audie Shaver sticking with it. Ball gets jarred loose. And the Royals get it out of the 18. The Royals still down. And Aldridge is going to get a yellow card. Upset that the game wasn't stopped sooner. Clock pauses at 6:27. The Royals will turn to Harrisonburg, Virginia, and go back home for 2 of their last 3 contests. A road matchup against Guilford sandwiched in between. Got Hampton-Sydney on deck next. And they wrap up the season at home against Avery. Three-on-three break. Bovo wants to go. Too high. Inside for Fitz. It'll be a goal kick for Aldridge. Lynchburg fans disagree with the call. It has been a dominant first 2 games for the Hornets on homecoming Saturday. Shep trying to get in the mix. Out wide for Audie. Chip shot inside. Knocked away. Massanet charging in. Massanet, right foot shot deflected. Turns back once again. Cristobal Massanet. Put that one in your own edit. Cristobal Massanet with his first collegiate goal, and the sideline goes wild. 6 with goal number 5. Cristobal, he's playing in this game. He's working the next one. A videographer for the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. We need him to put something together with that and make his own little highlight tape. My apologies. That is his second career goal. Massanet scored against Salisbury in his first ever collegiate game back on September 6th. So my apologies, Cristobal. Some could say I wasn't familiar with your game, but I've watched him quite closely this year. He has been an electric player for the Hornets. Audie Shaver has his shot ricocheted away off a blue jersey. Nevertheless, Cristobal's first collegiate goal on Schellenberger Field. And it seems like everybody on the track was a big fan of him netting that one through. 4 goals for the Hornets in the second half. It has been an onslaught of offense after they were shut out in their last game against Hampton-Sydney just for the second time this season. Only other time was all the way back in August against Barry in a 0-0 draw. You had to feel like there was some question marks maybe about the confidence level in the offense after they'd been roaring for weeks. And they went the first 40 minutes and some change without a goal, but after Wilson put it through, it has been an onslaught of offense for the Lynchburg Hornets. 5 different goal scorers today. 16 shots. And that one definitely feels like it closed it out if it hadn't been already. Here's Shepard inside the box. Wilson tried to add his second. Nicholas Fitzgerald with a chance. Play the fight song. Nicholas Fitzgerald with his second goal of the year.
Lynchburg goal scored by number 19, Nicholas Fitzgerald.
Touchdown, Lynchburg. Well, with 6 different goal scorers today, it's felt like the Oprah Winfrey Show. You get a goal, you get a goal. Everybody gets a goal today. Sharing the wealth. Both teams will start today's affair with a 6-goal victory. 7-1 for field hockey, 6-0 for men's soccer. They might still be looking for another. 17 seconds to get the extra point. Oh, my goodness. And that should do it. Clock trickles down, and the Hornets get back on track with a victory. EMU drops their second game in a row. Hampton-Sydney awaiting on deck. It all started at the end of the first half with a goal by Colby Wilson. And since then, Lynchburg took over 5 goals in the second half. Andres Romero on the far side. Got an assist right here for a crossing Saul Lopez Correas. That was the first goal of the second half for Lynchburg. From there on out, Lynchburg just continued to feast. Chris Bovo stuck with this nice play and tapped it in with the right foot. Luke Mega, a big fan of that one we had. And once again, it was Cristobal Massonet striking for the 5th goal of today's contest. Massenet's first career goal on Schellenberger Field, and Nicholas Fitzgerald wrapped it all up with his 6th and final goal of the afternoon. Homecoming off to a good start. 2 up, 2 down, 2 6-goal victories as we turn to the 3rd and final home game of our homecoming Saturday slate. Women's soccer on deck against the Washington and Lee Generals. Catch it live on FloSports.